I do love that feeding the duck sound. It it
I
it
do
gives me
too.
it gives me the vibes. What's up, everybody? You are highly educated with the Cannabis Closet podcast with Canna Queen. That is me, and MJ. That is her. This is an adult content show with no limitations on subject, language, or actions. Opinions, views, and expressions may or may not be that of the hosts, their guests, and their subsidiaries. Don't worry, we'll tell you what we're thinking. Please note that we are not medical physicians and any information or attorneys, and any information that we share is based solely on our personal research and knowledge, things that we have picked up and learned and researched on our own. Additionally, just a little reminder to everybody, any hate speech in this comment section will be dealt with swiftly and you will be blocked immediately. There are no second chances. All right, let's get this show started. What's up, everybody? Got the classic banner behind us today.
Woot woot, what's up?
The classic behind us
It's
again. Hey,
going
everybody,
live.
say hi in the comment section. I'm still packing up my joint because I was running on time and then I wasn't.
It's a syndrome.
It's a syndrome.
It is. It is.
I will say I was chit chatting with a couple people via text that I enjoyed chit chatting with while I was taking a little relaxer before the show started. And then the next thing I know, I need water and joints.
I know. I know. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, everything. My coffee is cold. My water's almost empty, and it is what it is. Hopefully, that is helping with the lighting, but doesn't look like it.
It's okay. You look angelic.
If I go this way, I look like I'm going really fast.
Yeah, like Flash. It's great.
Oh, goodness.
I don't even have my headphones on today. I'm going without. I do have a dual connector though, because we do have a virtual guest on Monday that we will need to hear. And what's up, Mark? Oh no, we know you. I mean, we don't know you, but we know you. So on Monday the 1st, we're going to be in St. Louis. We're going to have main ingredient on the show, which is Randy. He's been here before. He's come here. He's talked about the patches. He's going to be live. I did it here because that's where he had it last time. He had it right on his forehead.
Yeah.
He's going to be live with us. I believe we're recording from the Cola Lounge, so that's a treat. We love the Cola Lounge. Shout out to Brennan England and all the folks over there. And so we're going to have him on, and he's going to be live, and we're going to do a live patch demonstration.
I'm excited.
I'm so excited about it. I will patch this whole body up, let me tell you. And then I believe also we do have to remind her, but Christina Thompson is slated to come on virtually on May 1st. And we're going to talk about the new hemp law proposals, the HB. I can't remember the number off the top of my head. Mark, you might know.
I was going to say it's a 1328 maybe.
Yeah, it's been all over Can of Freedom for sure. And we're going to talk about how that law is going to affect consumers and how it's going to affect business owners and Missouri just in general. And whether or not you should be calling your representatives to tell them that you don't want this or you do want this. So we'll be
you should be calling them. Yeah, you should be calling your
whatever your opinion is on it. Tell your about it.
Also, I was reading 1328.
Thank you. 1328.
Look at that brain.
Look at that. Appreciate you, Mark.
I was also reading today, Deb Nash, who's been on the show before, she posted something about Oklahoma and how, in regard to a facility basically being come in for licensing inspection. They were told they were all good, and then a week later being their license being suspended. Already an existing facility, was told by the person walking the thing, looks good, you'll be hearing from
did they say what the suspension was for?
The post was a screenshot of something of the what had happened to this person, so it wasn't clear. It was kind of like they came in and we pointed this out and said this has already been taken care of. Like they said, a locked receptacle wasn't locked, but it was because they were actually using it,
In
and they're
use. It
like,
was in
here's the
use.
lock.
So
Yeah, it was in
ridiculous.
use. And then another point was something that they had addressed, like, we know this is being addressed, and and the guy was like, cool. And yeah, and then the next thing they know, they're being served a suspension
So
instead
crazy.
of their renewal. So yeah, I thought that was interesting, and I caught that real quick. I don't know if I think I tagged us, to see if we could get some Oklahoma representation on the show to talk about it.
One plant tag on the floor?
For all of the whole, is that
Is
they're
that
supposed
the
to be individually tagged? Is
You guys,
that
I can't take it with this ridiculous shit. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's
yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy.
They're like, we want you to be legal and not use the underground market, but we're going to make it very difficult for you to use the legal market. Bro, what? It's the feature, not the flaw. It's the feature, not the flaw.
Yeah. So definitely, if any of our Oklahoma friends and fam are here and have anyone that would like to come onto the show to talk about Oklahoma, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah,
And how it's
really
affecting you.
So the show is called Why Is It Still Winterish? No other violations ever. So they got shut down for a plant tag. That's ridiculous. The title of the show is Why Is It Still Winterish? And that's because it snowed this morning. Y'all, it's April 26th. I don't even know what to say about it anymore. I don't know what to. 2 days ago, I was laying out on in my backyard, and I have a tan line to prove it.
I would say I think it snowed the next day, or that the day
it did.
before, or just the day before. But either way,
the weather is ridiculous.
It is. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Usually, it's a memory on my Facebook that pops up that there was snow or not snow. Usually, it's a spring flower with snow covering it.
I mean, we're used to it in Colorado, but it's just been consistent. It's usually just like super sporadic if it happens, but it has just been consistent week after week after week, at least one day of snow every week.
Yeah, we're on that cycle. We're on the cycle, I guess. I think it's been 7 years since we've had good, consistent
snow
water.
and
Yeah,
moisture. I think
what up, cousin?
I think it's supposed to rain in St. Louis while we're there, so that's fun. They said I was told today that it's beautiful, and I was like, "Oh, well, it's supposed to rain on Friday." So
yeah, we'll bring some weather with us. Bring
some weather in. Sorry, they said that before they knew we was coming.
Yeah. Yep.
Just to let you guys know, this show is brought to you by CQ LLC. CQ LLC is a cannabis consulting and education company. We do all kinds of consulting, hands-on training. We will come to your facility and train your employees on the laws in your state and also on how to conduct business properly working in a medicinal or adult use facility. We are also certified by the state of Colorado to teach responsible vendor training. We, of course, can teach responsible vendor training in any state, but Colorado has a certification and we have received that certification. If you are interested in any type of consulting or education from CQ LLC, you can reach out to us, customer service, cqllc@gmail.com or 970-426-5985. You can also check out our website, which is www.cq-llc.com. This show is also brought to you by Queen Kitty Seltzer. Queen Kitty Seltzer, pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. Queen Kitty Seltzer is a low-dose CBD seltzer. It tastes like water because that's what water is supposed to taste like. We use organic and botanical terpenes and hemp to create our product. Our current line has 10 milligrams of CBD in each drink with no THC, no sugar, and no additives. It's a very clean and refreshing water, and you're going to love it. If you love bubbly water, you're going to love Queen Kitty Seltzer. You can check out our website, solo.to/Queen Kitty Seltzer, or you can check out www.queenkittyseltzer.com to order merch or drinks. We are also doing a flavor launch in June, so stay tuned for that and check out our Instagram to guess the flavor and win a 4-pack. It's potential. If you guess the flavor, we're going to put you in a drawing and you'll get in, whoever wins will win a 4-pack, one of each of our flavors. And then, of course, this is the Cannabis Closet podcast. You can find us on all of our platforms, solo.to/Cannabis Closet 420, Cannabis Closet 420 at gmail.com. You can come hang with us on Discord after the show, or you can catch us later on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Turn us on when you're cleaning the kitchen or whatever you need to do.
It's like you're talking to us. You can talk back to us. We're just chatting away. So it's
Can Evangelist is watching here in Kansas City, Missouri. Now, Kansas City, we're going to be coming through on Friday. We're going to make a quick stop. We're not going to stay, but on Tuesday, when we come back through, we would love to try to maybe do a lunch or something before we head completely out of Missouri. So let us know, Kansas City, if you guys want to join us for lunch and a smoky smoke, and we would be happy to do it. We would be happy to see y'all. So yeah, thank you, sponsors. Oh, one more thing while we're talking about sponsorship, we do have an event coming up. It is called the Rosin Experience. It's on May 11th, 2023 from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. The location has not been announced yet. It is a 21 and up event. You can eat, drink, and smoke cannabis there. It's going to be rosin, mostly rosin there to try. And we're going to be collaborating with a company called the High Grade Syrups. I don't know why that name slipped my mind. High Grade Syrups. We're going to be mixing some lemon kiss with some high grade syrup and making a little kitty tail about it. So definitely come check us out. Check that QR code. Look it up online. Check out the Sesh Connect on the Sesh Connection on Instagram, and you can find the link in her bio. So we're going to be there. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
The NFL
I can't wait to taste the kitty tail.
We're going to be driving through on Friday. And honestly, I'm gonna be real honest with you. Which NFL? Kansas City NFL? Because I'm a Niners fan. So y'all already know how I feel.
So are we taking the long way around? No.
It all together.
Yeah,
we are coming through dry though. So if anybody wants to hook it up, because we won't have no fresh until 300,000 people are coming. Well, that sounds like a bad experience for my anxiety, and I will watch.
Yeah, we're not staying. We're just driving through.
No, we're just driving through on Friday. But on Tuesday, let's have lunch. Let's all of us get together at a place that y'all like. Even I think there's some smoke places there that we could even get together and hang out at. You guys let us know. We would love to hang out with you, Kansas City, because we don't stop there quite often enough. So
if we do, it's for a second before we have to go into the dreaded Kansas. If we can go around it, we'll see how it redirects us, I'm sure, but I think it takes us down into like, I don't know.
I don't think it takes us through the city. I think we're going to stay on the highways.
I think we skirted anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you for the heads up.
We are making a little bit of a pit stop in Kansas City on Friday because we are traveling through Kansas dry. We will be dry through Kansas. So when we get to Missouri, in Kansas City, we are making a pit stop with a friend so that we can have a little toke. Take the 435 loop, iron 435 loop around the city. Thank you. We appreciate that. It's brilliant.
Noted.
I don't want to be anywhere near 300,000 people.
No.
Seems like a lot of stupidity in one place. I don't want to be a part of it.
Nope.
So the next segment is why is Canna Queen mad? But let me tell y'all how Canna Queen's not mad today, and it's actually MJ.
Me?
It is. Let me tell y'all why MJ's mad today.
Because I'm OCD. OCD weirdo
Do not
about
take
little
I-70 through the
things.
city. It will be jammed with construction and NFL draft. Okay, so we'll try to avoid that. It is
We
the
will
route
avoid
we
it.
do take. We do take 70. MJ's mad today. I know, crazy, right? Plot twist, he said. There are extra plates, and they are, let me tell you guys, this would drive me crazy too. So there are extra plates found in the plate cabinet, but they're not even stacked like in size order. And there's also a stack of paper plates mixed in with the like regular plates. So it's like big plates, small plates, some more bigger plates.
Girl,
Then,
I am trying not to sound like really like an asshole about this.
but it would drive me crazy too. That's some OCD shit because it's not uniform. You know what I'm saying? It's not like stacked even in a uniform way. And then I think the other problem is not just the plate. Like, let me give you guys a full description because the plates aren't enough. It's not just the plates. It's like new stuff shows up all the time, and especially in the kitchen. And then stuff that was in the kitchen that is fully used by MJ on a regular basis is now in a secret hiding space.
And I just happened to find it because I'm doing something else.
Because she was looking to go put something else away, and then she finds the thing in the secret hiding space, and she finds extra shit in that space too that wasn't there before, and or where she kept the thing that she uses every day that's been moved to the secret hiding space, and then something new has been put in its place that is not used every day. Is that?
I try to be fair. I try to, like make space. I try to make it obvious of how things are organized because we are limited on space, and I do already have a ton of shit. Why new dishes need to be brought into a space that there are full sets of dishes? I don't know. And that's, I try to not bitch about things like this directly to, because I feel so weird about, not weird, but like is it I feel like I sound like a crazy person.
I mean, you do. Okay, but also rightfully so, I think rightfully so. I think with you do, but also like it's not an it's not an unexplained crazy. It's fully explained.
Listen,
Here's my question.
a microwave showed up on my counter, and
Shut
I
the
have
fuck
not
up.
used a microwave
A whole microwave.
in 10 years.
Okay, so here's my question, and I'm serious about this because this is the first thing I thought, and we were just back and forth about it so much that I forgot to say this when we were talking about it earlier. But do you think that the human that is doing this was not given, like, you know, those toys that were given as toddlers where you fit the star into the star and then the rectangle into the rectangle and circle into, that is important. If you have babies, that is important. That is important. That is so important to
Maybe I got too
understand
much of it.
face-
Like I was like lining these
facial
bitches up.
recognition, how things fit together, how things should be stacked together, things like that. Super important. And when you showed me the plates, I said in my head, not out loud, did she not play with these like little shape block things? Because that's always what I wonder when somebody can't like fit their luggage into the overhead bin or something like that. So it wasn't just the kitchen though. So then that subsided, everything calmed down and everything. And then you were sending me another message and just stopped dead cold and was like, what the fuck? Because
My plants had been moved.
your plants had been moved. Why?
And I see now why, because she accommodated her plant on the shelf, and that's fine. I don't care.
But talk
I
to me
don't
about it.
care. But also, like, if I felt that your plant should have been moved from where it was because it was actually doing good where it was,
There's a whole
why?
list.
Why did you need to move my plant from there and
Mhm.
not properly stilt it back up because now it's falling over?
The universe keeps pushing and pushing and pushing.
Signs, yes.
Yeah, because also, I mean, I don't think they're ever going to watch this, but they're a little
Mm-mm.
complicated. They're a little complicated. You're not allowed to be friends with their friends. You're not allowed to invite people over that they would have invited over if they had thought about it. Like, it's just, it's time.
It's time. It's time. It's time. There, lots of things are happening,
She said,
and
oh no.
oh no.
Yes, I do think that, George.
Has designs on how you live your life.
I do. I
Um,
think that a lot of people are miserable because we don't listen.
yeah, I think if we're given signs, I think we're presented with, and and then it is up to us to how we react, how long it takes us to see these signs. It takes me a long time of seeing the signs to finally be like, okay, maybe I should do something about this.
Right.
I know that
Me
that is
too.
my toxic trait.
I'm
I
a
know
giver.
that.
I'm a giver. And let me tell y'all something about takers. They will take all of you. So you have to be sure, if you're a giver, not to give all of yourself
Yeah,
to takers, because takers will take everything.
right, right.
Mhm.
Um, yep. And so, yeah, so gosh, I kind of had what just other anxieties about
We've had a very
being
anxious
angry
day.
earlier today. Um, and so, yeah, it's all the signs, and
Yes.
now like the universe is like, you can't ignore me anymore because I am about to, like, it's the shakeup time,
Yeah, right. It is
yeah.
the shakeup time. And I will say this, didn't the universe talk to us today? Oh yeah, the universe did talk to us very clearly today. Today we're using a freight company. I don't have a rubber band, so this is just going to be a constant, just so you know. Um, Today we were talking to a freight company, and we had gotten actually a couple of estimates from a couple people in the last couple of days. And so we had two that we were talking to, and
Okay.
one came through with an estimate, and then we were waiting to, with the other one, we wanted to just do a little price comparison or whatever, and see what they had to offer when we gave them the correct measurements and everything. And to see if they were comparable or cheaper, whatever. But we also, like, the guy that we're working with is somebody that our parent company is also working with. So it could make things a lot easier and everything. And his quote was really actually quite good. And so we're waiting to hear from the other company. And then they send us this email and it says, I'm sorry, we don't have any carriers that are willing to carry a CBD product. And we were like, cool, we got somebody.
Cool. Also, why not? In this industry, and because other carriers do, why wouldn't you,
Why wouldn't
as a
you?
company, consider it? Because it is a market. If everyone's going to capitalize on the shifts, why wouldn't you? Um, and so, okay, yes, it definitely. He didn't even wait for the response of no THC. He
Yeah,
just
he
was
asked if
like,
there was THC, and we were going to respond, no, there's no THC. And then he was like, I'm sorry, they won't even move CBD. And we were like, yeah, it's cool. We got somebody.
right. And it's funny because I put that in the initial request, and and I don't know if it's the
Right.
blanket request that come or answer that comes back of the thank you for contacting us and da 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 da. But when I said we're waiting on dimensions, he was like, great, we'll proceed then. Like,
Right.
still didn't, until I actually sent the dimensions and etc. And
Right. I think that they were like, is it THC? And he was like, no, it's CBD. And they were like, no.
whatever. Again, I
Whatever. It's
think
not, what's crazy about that is you just lost like $1,000.
because their pricing was probably going to, I think, come back more. I would assume, just because the quotes
Yeah.
were so with the general
I
quote.
mean, they had like $100 less for just one pallet, and it was just
Yeah.
$100 less than the quote that we got
Right.
for 2 pallets. So yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Anywho.
Okay, so it's funny you say that, because one of the headlines I have today, and I don't know how many of the stories we're going to like get into, but we're definitely going to pop off some headlines today. But one of the headlines that I have today is that there is a state in, let's see, Minnesota, maybe? Yeah. Maybe no. Not Minnesota. It is Minnesota. No? Let me see. I don't know which one it is, but Maine. Maine. It's Maine. I knew it was an M state. So Maine has just filed lawmaker files a bill in their state to allow marijuana interstate commerce with federal policy changes. So states are like gearing up for this. States are like, yo, it is going to be federally legal at some point.
At some point, no matter how they're going to do it, it's going to be done.
It's going to be done.
They know that they can capitalize on this now, and so they're going to do it. It just
that's is 2 states. If they pass this, that's 2 states that would have this. And that would be California. No, it would be Oregon. Yes.
Oregon, Washington,
Oregon. No, Oregon, and it would be Maine. And they're smart to do it.
Why isn't Colorado? Hello, where are we? What are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing? Why are we dragging our feet about this? We're worried about vending machines. That's why. Yeah, it's smart to do it because it is going to be federally legal. And there's places like Oregon who have a mass production and an overage of flour, which is affecting their costs and it's affecting their employment. And there's states like, I don't know, Pennsylvania, who has a shortage of flour and it's affecting their consumers. So
how's the testing of all this going to do too? I mean, that's the other thing is like, is anyone talking about that? And
what's it going to look like? Do they have to test it in the state that it comes from? Are some states going to make laws, which they've done with hemp? Are some states going to make laws that require you to grow the flour that you're utilizing in the state?
Oh,
they've done that also. Like there's like 6 states.
How about
where we can't ship to, and I think there's like 1 or 2. I think it's just 1. It just is like no hemp, right? And then the others are like, no, you have to grow it here.
Right. I wonder also, will the government facilities be required to follow these testing requirements as well?
It is being shipped across state lines, and we know that because we are the proud owners of Queen Kitty Seltzer. Queen Kitty Seltzer is manufactured in Missouri. It's one of the reasons we're coming out. Well, we're also coming to see Janet Jackson and Ludacris. And but the problem with hemp is that the ball keeps getting passed back and forth. So Congress refuses to make laws on the regulation or, make comment on regulation. And then the FDA refuses to do it too. So you're not off track on that. You're correct. So yeah. And I mean, we don't ship flour, but we ship a product that has hemp product in it. So that's how we're able to ship it back and forth. But yeah, it's just, I wonder what the regulations are going to look like. It would behoove states who are having a shortage to not make laws that you have to get, because you're not gonna serve anybody that way.
Right. Shoot, I had something I wanted to ask, and now it is gone from my brain.
If you blurt it out in the middle of the show, I won't even. Like, let's talk about it.
Let me see if I can go through if something up here triggers what I wanted to say.
While you're thinking about it, I'm just going to jump into our history moment. So I kind of combined them, and this is a sad one.
I remember.
You remember? Go ahead. You do it first.
In regard to CBD and or hemp CBD and the way that they're lumping that in with synthetic cannabinoids that are not derived from the plant. I think that I'm wondering how cloudy that is for, again, government people that don't know anything about our industry and just want to capitalize on it through their so their companies on the backside. So
we do read MJ Biz Mag. Actually, we have some stories from one of them today. We read, let's see, what do we have stories from today? High Times, of course, and Marijuana Moment today, but sometimes we get them from MJ Biz, sometimes we get them from Normal. I used High Times today because I've been seeing these like really funny and interesting stories in there, and I'm just like, we can't miss out on these. These are hilarious. Yeah, so we definitely want to talk about that, and we want to talk about what the new House bill that's being proposed is going to mean for Missouri. That's HB 1328. Thanks, Mark Powell, for letting us know that. So Christina Thompson is slated to be on the show on Monday. That's assuming everything goes well with her. Sometimes she does have like a medical emergency. She's been going through some things, and so she's in recovery, but she might have a medical emergency due to the illness that she's treating. So hopefully she will be here. Usually she is, but I just want to like preface by saying, if she's not, we'll cover it. It's no big deal. It'll be okay. But yeah, it's gonna get real cloudy, and you guys gotta call your representatives and let them know how you feel about these things. And you gotta, like, really, we talk about these things on here because we want to spark your interest to pay attention. Legal cannabis is all well and good when it's all well and good, and when it's not, it is absolutely not. Just because you're legalizing doesn't mean it's a good thing. It doesn't. And there's so many reasons for that. It could be cost, it could be regulation, it could be entry into the industry. It could be the fact that you're not actually ending prohibition. It could be a violation of your constitutional rights within the bill itself. And so those things, you guys got to pay attention before you vote. You got to pay attention before you vote, because I really do. I honestly believe that had Missourians actually read the bill, they would not have voted for it. Let the next one come, because you already see what a mess your medical program is for a variety of reasons that are similar to the reasons why your adult use program is also going to be a complete mess.
Pay attention.
Leaving a lot of people out, and it does do some good things, but that's the thing, is that, like, do those good things weigh more than all of the bad things that it's going to do? You know what I'm saying? You can disagree with that if you would like, but it is mostly corporate owned, and that's not great for you guys or your and then it leaves a lot of people out too. And also it's expensive as fuck. Anyway, but I digress. But we can disagree on that, and that's fine.
We've had all sides.
It's absolutely inaccessible for the average person because corporations have taken over your medical program, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about that. It is and then by the way, they're leaving a lot of people out within the industry. Growers are not growing in the industry. And if they are, they're doing it at lower level positions. A lot of them aren't necessarily doing it on head grower positions. Those people, used to grow other plants and have knowledge of cannabis because that's what they're doing right now, but not previous. So there's a lot of that happening throughout the state.
Across the industry, to
Across
be
the whole
honest.
it's not just Missouri. Yeah, we're not just picking on Missouri, but we do like to use y'all as an example because y'all are new and up and coming, and you could have done things differently, and then you didn't. So anyways, we'll see what happens as things progress. Keep an eye on that hemp bill though, because that could be a not a good thing for you guys. And we're going to talk about it. We're hopefully going to talk about it on May 1st. So I'm super excited about that. I want to jump into our history moment because of course we're already 37 minutes into the show. We have
whatever, we can do what we want. We're following our notes.
So I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts the other day, My Favorite Murder, and they do banter in the beginning. And it's like 15 minutes banter, 15 minutes, and then they're on to the show. And I'm just like, man, we got to get better at that, but we won't. Okay, so on our history moment, I do have a little sad. It is sad, but it is is a lesson. Anyways, we'll talk about it.
Trigger
warning
all over the place for y'all.
So some of you guys know this story already, but I'm just gonna tell you a little story. And this can relate to what's happening right now before our eyes on video camera, on recording, whatever. Anyways, you guys know what I meant. All right, here we go. In 1991, Latasha Harlins was a 15-year-old African-American girl who was shot in the head by Soon Ja Do, a 51-year-old female convenience store owner from South Korea, who was tried and convicted of voluntary manslaughter in Harlan's death. Harlan's was a student at Westchester High School in Los Angeles. Harlan's death came 13 days after the videotaped beating of Rodney King. Do was fined $500 and sentenced to 5 years of probation and 400 hours of community service, but no prison time for her crime. Some have cited the shooting of Latasha Harlins as one of the causes of the 1992 Los Angeles riots. Do's store, Empire Liquor, located in South Los Angeles, was normally staffed by Do's husband and son. However, on the morning of the shooting, Do was working behind the counter, and her husband was outside resting in the family van. Do observed Harlins putting a bottle of orange juice in her backpack. Police said that Do erroneously concluded Harlins was attempting to steal and did not see the money in Harlins held in her hand. The police reached this conclusion after speaking with 2 eyewitnesses present and viewing the videotape of the incident recorded by the store security camera. The videotape showed that Do grabbed Harlins by her sweater and snatched her backpack. Harlins then struck Do with her fist 3 times, knocking Do to the ground. After Harlins backed away, Do threw a stool at her. Harlins then picked up the orange juice bottle that dropped during the scuffle. Do snatched the bottle from her, and Harlins turned to leave. Do reached under the counter, retrieved a handgun, and fired at Harlins from behind at a distance of about 3 feet, which is about 1 meter. The gunshot struck Harlins in the back of the head, and it killed her instantly. Do's husband, Billy Hyun Ki Do, heard the gunshot, rushed into the store. After speaking to his wife, who asked for the whereabouts of Harlins before fainting, he dialed 911 to report an attempted holdup. Do testified on her own behalf, claiming that the shooting was in self-defense and that she believed that her life was in danger. Her testimony was contradicted by the statements of the 2 eyewitnesses at the time, as well as the store's security camera video. which showed Dew shooting Harlins in the back of the head as the teenager turned away from Dew and attempted to leave the store. The Los Angeles Police Department ballistics report also found that the handgun Dew used was altered in such a way that it required much less pressure on the trigger to fire an ordinary handgun. On November 15th, 1991, a jury found that Dew's decision to fire the handgun was fully within her control and that she fired the gun voluntarily. The jury found Dew guilty of voluntary manslaughter, an offense that carries a maximum prison sentence of 16 years. The jury recommended the maximum sentence for Dew. However, the trial judge, Joyce Carlin, didn't accept the jury's sentencing recommendation and instead sentenced Dew to 5 years of probation, 400 hours of community service, and a $500 fine. Judge Carlin suggested that there were mitigating circumstances in Harlan's death. She stated, "Did Miss Dew react inappropriately? Absolutely. But was that reaction understandable? I think it was." Carlin added, "This is not a time for revenge, and no matter what sentence this court imposes, Mrs. Dew will be punished every day for the rest of her life." The court also stated that Dew shot Harlins under extreme provocation and duress, and deemed it unlikely that Dew would ever commit a serious crime again. And furthermore, she deemed that Dew's capacity to act rationally in the situation was undermined by her experience with past robberies. The incident and reduced sentence by the court exacerbated the existing tensions between African American residents and Asian American merchants in South Los Angeles. Those tensions were later interpreted by some members of the public and activists as being one of the catalysts for the 92 LA riots. The Los Angeles mayor's office estimated that 65% of all businesses vandalized during those riots were Korean owned. And on August 17th, 1991, while Dew was awaiting trial, a small fire occurred at her store. During the 92 riots, Dew's store was looted and burned down, and it never reopened. The property later became a market owned by somebody else. Hip-hop artist Tupac Shakur took particular note of Harlan's death, and in 1993 released a song entitled "Keep Your Head Up," which was dedicated to Latasha Harlins. I'm going to read these and not rap them because I'm not going to rap them. Thereafter, Shakur made frequent mention of Harlins in his songs, including in tracks like Something to Die For, interlude, Latasha Harlins, Remember That Name, 'Cause a Bottle of Juice is Not Something to Die For. In Thug's Mansion, Little Latasha, Show Grow, Tell the Lady at the Liquor Store that she's forgiven, so come home. I Wonder If Heaven Got a Ghetto, Tell Me What's a Black Life Worth, A Bottle of Juice is No Excuse, The Truth Hurts, and even when you take the shit, move counties, get a lawyer, you can shake the shit, Ask Rodney, Latasha, and many more. White Man's World, Rest in Peace, Latasha, Little Yummy, and Kato. And Hellraiser, Dear Lord, if you hear me, tell me why little girl like Latasha had to die. Rapper Ice Cube composed a song about the incident for his album Death Certificate entitled Black Korea. District Attorney Ira Rayner denounced Judge Carlin and pledged to use an unusual California law to bar her from trying criminal cases. This was such a stunning miscarriage of justice that Judge Carlin cannot continue to hear criminal cases with any public credibility, he asserted. State court records show that the sentence was extremely light. Of 715 people convicted of voluntary manslaughter in California, in 1990, only 6 received probation. The vast majority went to state prisons or county jails with an average sentence of more than 8 years, according to the state's Administrative Office of Courts. Joyce Carlin became a target of protests and an unsuccessful campaign recall campaign. Protests led by Latasha Harlan's aunt Denise marched outside her Manhattan Beach home and the Compton courthouse. Many pointed out that the sentence handed out to Do was less severe than 30 days in jail. A Glendale man had recently received a week later, or had received a week later for kicking and stomping a dog. So, so, so her sentence for murdering a human being was less than somebody's sentence for harming an animal.
Yeah.
Which neither is acceptable. Good that you went to jail,
Yeah,
but like still. So that is the story of Latasha Harlan's. And it just, so first of all, I follow a Facebook page called Black Wall Street on Facebook. And they always have these little snippets and things. So I'm always learning something new about somebody. I knew about Latasha Harlan's. I knew about her because I knew that Keep Your Head Up was dedicated to her. So that's why I knew about that. Thanks, Tupac, always teaching us new lessons all the time. And so I knew, but I didn't realize that he had put her in so many of his songs. And I didn't realize that, like I did, like when you hear a song, you don't realize the connection necessarily to the thing. So, and then I also didn't realize that a lot of people believe that that's what led to the 92 riots. Along with what happened to Rodney King, like it was one of the catalysts. We played a video a while ago of a young Asian creator, and she was talking about in that video the discourse between Asian Americans within Black communities. And then Black communities and Asian communities. And part of the reason it was, again, it's the feature, not the flaw, right? So what the government did was deny Black business owners, the opportunity to own businesses in their neighborhood, but would like double down on Asian businesses and let Asian people come in from outside of the neighborhood and run businesses in the Black neighborhoods. And that caused discourse between the communities, as it would, they're blaming each other. Of course, that's the government's goal, right? They want us at each other's throats. I also thought this story was really important to talk about because it was a bottle of orange juice. It was a bag of Skittles.
Right. Is 60 cents worth of life? Like that's like
it's just it's so infuriating. Like this was in 1991 and it's just got, in my opinion, maybe it's not, this is wrong. What I was about to say, I was going to say, in my opinion, it's just gotten worse. No, it's just gotten more. We see it more, and it's not gotten.
See it more.
We just see it's happening. It hasn't. Maybe it has gotten worse, but like now we're seeing it happening. Now we have more than 3 news channels on TV, right, telling us the same thing about welfare divas and crack babies and whatever, those are the stories.
Stigma, the demonizing negative effects of something that they created.
Exactly. And so it's and shoot, like you can't be at the wrong house to pick up your siblings. You can't, y'all. When I tell you that I wish people would get it through their skulls that if they're doing it to others, they're going to do it to you. Like, get it through your head that you're not safe. A DoorDasher went to the wrong house and got shot at. A white woman was murdered for pulling into the wrong driveway. What are y'all scared of? That you're just pulling the trigger without even asking a question or assessing the situation, which, by the way, is part of responsible gun ownership. You assess the situation, and you never point your weapon at something you do not intend to kill.
Oh gosh, and is I don't think anyone's ever said, yeah, like they don't. No one says it like that. Yes, those that are trained, and but to the common person, like, let's arm the teachers. Let's arm,
They don't want to be
no,
armed.
let's
They want to be
let
teachers.
they want to
They're
be
teachers.
teachers. They're not no. Let's talk
You're not
about
asking them to. You're not
removing access to these guns that are responsible behind the person, in front of the
not
person,
until they shoot
whatever.
somebody, and not until if they're in certain states, not until their local government covers it up, and not until the videotape is released. You can't even go running through a neighborhood without being gunned down by some crazy white people. Like,
Who thinks that
what?
they're responsible to police this? Like someone running for afternoon jog in their
That's
but
crazy.
because
Do you see this comment? We had a trigger warning, this show. We had a delivery guy hacked to pieces in my county for What is happening?
What?
It's not, y'all, it's blame it on what you want. Say mental health, whatever the fuck. It is literally not mental health, because let me tell you, I spent the entire day today and the entire week this week and the entire month this month having hundreds of mini panic attacks all day long. And if I'm not having a mini panic attack, I'm low in my depression. What's up, Nate? And so I am mentally unstable, y'all. And also there are firearms in my house. And also I've been very angry. You know what I'm saying? Right? But I'm not fucking showing up. What the fuck?
Yeah, your first resort is not going and grabbing one
If it's
of your
mental health, it would affect women the same way that there would be women at the same percentage doing the same crimes. If it was mental health, it wouldn't just majority be white men. It wouldn't. It would be people of color. It would be women of color. It would be white women. It would be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it was mental health, and that's it.
Have you just played them for me, or have we played them on the show? The true crimer. Is that
the true crimer guy? Where he's the one that we played on the show where he was like, white guy.
Yes, and his responses to everyone are very informed and very educated, and he does his research, and so yes, I was like, have we? I was like, because
he's a true. His name on TikTok, I believe, is True Crimer or something like that. He is very well informed. He does his research. He's what you guys know, there was like this so the don't worry, you can just get it on the playback, but we are trying to come to Kansas City and have lunch, so just make sure you check the playback. What was I saying? The Golden State Killer was captured by not him, but by people like him who study true crime and like spend hours on it. And this is what this guy does, and he recounts true crime on his channels. I believe he's got a YouTube channel too, maybe. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
But he's very interesting. He's easy to listen to, and the crimes that he chooses are very interesting and well researched. And then he's got trolls coming in like, well, da 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 da. But like, no, but he's got like, this is what he does, internet troll. Yes, May 2nd, we are coming through Kansas City, and we'd like to come through early enough maybe to have lunch. We'll see what happens. Or whatever. But we'll
set the ETAs. As we get out the doors and whatnot.
They better smoke us up before we go through Kansas.
Yeah, we've got we're gonna have to ration
Yeah, no, we
everything.
do have one. We did get in touch with one person because we're coming through Kansas dry, which I've never done before, by the way. I'm
But
just
new signs are, again, we're reading the signs there. Like we're taking
listen,
those
they
literal
scared the
signs
shit
and
out
we're
of
like
me. They scared the shit out of me last time I went through there. And so we're coming through Kansas dry, but we have somebody in Kansas City that's going to leave us a blizzy, or share a blizzy if she's home with us. So we're super excited about that. And thank you, because that's a 6 hours of just Jesus for real, white Jesus. And it's fun. All that wasted land out there. I mean, you could do so much. You could grow so much hemp on that land, or so much cannabis. Like, oh my God. They're the
yeah.
same thing.
Mm.
I hate when I separate them, but I separate them so you guys know I'm talking about THC versus, but they're the same thing. They're all cannabis. Just saying.
Again, get over it. It is a crop, y'all.
Get the
It
fuck
is a
over
crop,
it.
and
They're
get
losing so
over,
much money.
like
They're like in between, which makes it even more scary, you guys. This makes the trip even more scary. They're in between 2 legal states, 3, because Oklahoma's down here. And then New Mexico is over here, which is almost close to Kansas. They're surrounded by, there's 4 legal states surrounding Kansas and Texas.
I hope Texas is moving forward. But as long
My
as,
mother
here's
tried
the
to tell
thing
me,
is, as long as the guns thing for Texas won't do it, and if until the guns thing is resolved, and being able to have your guns and have your
they can
cannabis.
though, because they just did that. Did they do it in Missouri? But they've done it in other states. You can write it
They
into
have
your own
exactly.
constitution.
Yes. So that's, I think, that's, get on board, Texas, so that you don't have to. So
My mom tried to tell me they got legal cannabis here, and I was like, no, they don't. No, they don't. I won't even like, it's a 3-hour drive to skip Kansas. What we would have to do is go through New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma to get to St. Louis. That's what we would have to do. And it adds like 3 hours to our drive. And that 3 hours is spent in fucking Texas. And I don't love going through non-legal states. If you at least have a medical program, then I at least have a good attorney. What's up, Chris? I'll bail you out if it's okay. I will never out. I was just like, yes, motherfucker, come get me.
lady. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. She is. Don't do it.
Just taking down land. Taking down
So we are very careful in Kansas, but when we went through last time, like we said on the last show, it's so crazy. When we said on the last show, went through last time, and there was like a drug intervention task force with canines in work. I was like, fuck. I was like, fuck. And I look over at my husband and I go, oh my God, we might go to jail today. There's a lot of drugs in this car. Because I think I didn't just have cannabis. I think I had a bar with me, a chocolate bar.
I think you did too. I'm like, yep. I think you were like, should I? And you're like, sure.
I was like, I don't know what the vibe's gonna be. They don't get down like me.
No. No.
Not many people in our age range get down like we get down. So it is what it is. She's like 4 years older than me. So there's like she's like an older Gen X. And I am just a regular ass Gen X, but I also think I identify with millennials a little bit because I understand the plight. Like, I get it. That's empathy. That's empathy.
Yeah.
I would like to do something where we invite like Gen Z or Gen Alpha on, and we just talk about what it's like to be a Gen Z or Gen Alpha and like what they experience. I would be so confused.
I still am confused. I feel like I need a Post-it note that has like it listed out by age. It's kind of like horoscopes where it's just like you don't know the dates and the cutoffs. Like I'm like,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
have to. Sometimes I
And then
do have to
sometimes they
go
try to
and look,
throw an
and
extra
that's
one in to fuck everything up. They're like, oh no, there's this other zodiac. No, the fuck there's not. Gives a fuck what the stars say. Okay. So yeah, just
I'm about to go dark. I'm about.
uh-oh. What's happening? Is it time? Oh my god, it is. How did it happen so quickly? This is it is a Wednesday show. So happy 420
Happy 420
on the West Coast. Holla holla. So guess what? I'm going to Wu-Tang.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm gonna be in the lawn with the rest of the creeps.
Yeah, you secured that. That was
Got it
quick
today.
draw.
Pre-sale.
Quick
I was
draw.
like $50. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yay. I got some concerts coming up.
Yeah, and she got hers too,
I bought
right?
all of them.
Okay, okay.
I was like, you want me to just get them?
You're like, yep.
I just got paid. Oh my God. So we got some news stories today, but before we get to those, I want to remind everybody the show is brought to you by CQLC. CQLC is a cannabis education compliance training company. Whatever the fuck you want to call us. We don't care. www. We just care that you call us. Just give us a call. www.cq-llc.com. We are certified to teach responsible vendor training in the state of Colorado. We can teach it all over nationally, but Colorado has a certification, and we have one. So it's one of the only states that does. Customer service CQLC at gmail.com, 970-426-5985. We can help with anything. Like, if you need to train your employees, but you're just like, I don't know, we can come in and train your employees. We can help you with SOPs. We're very hands-on. We're going to train your employees on the state laws and on how to work properly in a dispensary and have conversations with people regardless of whether or not you're working in medical or adult use. So yeah, give us a call and we'll help you out. We'll give you a free 30-minute consultation. We'll tell you what we think you need, and then you can hire us. Yay! Everybody's
and
happy.
then you get to hang out with us.
You get to hang out with us.
Woo!
This show is also brought to you by Queen Kitty Seltzer. Queen Kitty Seltzer, solo.to/Queen Kitty Seltzer is where you can find all of our social medias, our websites, and where you can buy merch. Pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. It is seltzer water, low dose CBD seltzer water. It has no sugar and no additives in it. No vegans were harmed in the process of creating this beverage either. We have Nearly Naked, we have Bubblegum Burst, we have Lemon Kiss, and we have a new flavor coming out in June. Stay tuned. There is absolutely no yak in the back, and holler out at Mighty Kind Co. If you guys are in the St. Louis area and you can't find Queen Kitty, look for Mighty Kind. They definitely have some good flavors there. So we do have different flavors from them, except for the lemon.
Yep. And
the lemon is like a shared one that I think everybody gets because it's lemon.
And it'll sell no matter where
Right.
it is.
Right.
With,
And then, right.
Yes. And so it is. It's a good one. So
and then like Brennan has peach mango under the St. Louis Cannabis Club.
Yes.
And he has also Hetty Lemon too. So yeah, I mean, anywhere in Mighty Kind, you can't go wrong. But if it's Queen Kitty, you're definitely right.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then you guys can find us solo.to/Cannabis Closet 420. We're on Discord, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitch, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok sometimes. we got a Gmail. You find all of those and more solo.to/Cannabis Closet 420. And honestly, if you use either one of those solo addresses that I just gave you guys, it'll take you to all of them. It takes you to everything.
All of it.
We got a King Palm code too. What is it? It's KP
There's a banner for it.
Oh, there is. Okay. Is there
I believe.
a new one?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I saw it.
Oh, no, it has the old one on there.
So,
I think I put it in Discord. You guys go follow us on Discord and I'll find it and I'll tell you what it is. But we do have a discount code and it's 30% off. I mean, crazy. What?
ooh.
30.
Ooh.
Here it is. KP Queen 2023, 30% off your King Palm purchase. There it is.
We like lollies.
Yeah. Double batch of grape lollies. Yes. What? I have an address you could send it to. So, okay. You guys, we got some news stories. Some of them are serious and some of them aren't. So what do we want to do?
We do serious and then hilarious? Serious,
Well,
hilarious?
first I want to say that
serious.
Colorado is doing a little something right, maybe. Colorado Senate gives initial approval to psychedelics regulation bill. So that's in the Senate. So it has to still pass the House. But they've passed a bill to create regulatory framework for legal psychedelics under voter-approved initiative. So it will be on the ballot. Yeah. So this is a story in Marijuana Moment. If you guys want to go check that out, is a 25-10 vote on Tuesday, and it now heads to the House of Representatives. So go check that whole story out. Looks very interesting. It is very interesting. It was, of course, written by our friend who has no idea who we are, Kyle Yeager.
We love him.
We love you, Kyle.
And I'm going to go ahead and post it on the Facebook page while you're
yes. And it will be in the show notes when I post the show. Also, by the way, shows 23 through 27 are up on Spotify. So go check it out.
Nice job. Good. Sweet. This
makes me laugh so hard. This is from High Times. You guys, fucking idiots. But also their idiocy is our gain. Louisiana legislators say they unknowingly legalized hemp products with THC. Y'all are stupid.
Isn't this the second state that's done this? Didn't someone else do it?
Minnesota did it. They legalized gummies, and then all of a sudden cannabis was legal in the state. Stupid asses. So they say they were misled when they approved hemp legislation. Senator Stewart, Kathy, and Senator Jay Morris, don't vote for them again, stated in a recent Senate Agricultural Committee hearing on April 18th, that legalizing hemp products with THC was unintended. Last session, we unknowingly created a recreational THC market in Louisiana. Kathy introduced Senate Bill 219 on April 10th, and the most recent meeting held on April 18th was the first time the bill was discussed. SB 219 proposes to change state law that allows up to 8 milligrams of THC in a hemp product. Instead, it proposes a maximum of 2 grams of THC. Okay. If we're going to legalize recreational THC, it needs to be done openly and honestly, which wasn't done. It was sold to the legislator as if we weren't allowing psychoactive materials. As of April 18th hearing, the bill was approved by the committee to appear before the Senate. So I don't really understand what they're upset about. Okay, he proposed the bill. And the bill... Oh, he introduced the bill. Oh, so he just didn't read it before he introduced it. Maybe.
And then he's saying it wasn't clear to him that there was information. I didn't read it. I was just posting it. But
so it says proposes to change state law. Oh, so maybe he's introducing this new bill because the something previously allows up to 8 milligrams of THC. Are y'all listening to this? Because I'm hearing myself talk, but I'm just so confused right now. Is this a new bill that he's proposing right now? And previously he had voted to approve a bill that allowed 8 milligrams? Because I don't understand. But either way, it legalizes. Okay. I don't understand it. Am I being dumb right now?
No.
The bill you're carrying right now is putting people. Okay, so business owners like Jason Garcia owns Straight Weight. Sorry, I paused because it's spelled with 8s. It's STR8W8 cannabis, right. Which is a weird. Okay. Also, the president of the Gulf South Hemp Association says that the current law will only hurt their business. The bill would absolutely gut this industry. So they already have. The bill you're carrying right now is putting people out of business in your town, in your state, in district. It would disseminate my investment and my business. It doesn't make any sense, says Black Farmers Hemp president John Ford of Lafayette. We're trying to grow the industry, and they've spent their life savings. So the current law is 8 milligrams, I think, and he's trying to change it because he feels like it was misleading. I think that's what's happened here.
Right. He wants a maximum of 2.
Right. On April 10th, the Louisiana legislative auditor released the details of its audit of the Louisiana Department of Health entitled Oversight of Consumable Hemp Products. The report found that 36 of the 2,564 registered consumable hemp products approved by the DOH were prohibited. Additionally, 198 edible products surpassed the 8 milligram THC limit, among other examples of not complying with law. Just legalize cannabis and you won't have to deal with this kind of bullshit. I mean, I'm not saying the hemp industry is bullshit, and there is definitely loopholage there where, you know, a 0.0 like 0.3% or whatever, you could still have that in your product. We could do it in the product. We're kind of like, I don't know if it's mostly me or not, but I'm a sit back and wait and see how people like it kind of person. And so on a lot of things, like, I'm not trying it first. You try it first. See how it works. So we've talked about doing a THC product, but we're sitting watching this shit happen, right? So we're just like, what's happening? Like, is it going to destroy our business if we do this and then we can't sell it to any of the states because then they start doing shit like this, right? So we're just, you know, for me, that's like for the small business capacity that we have, that's like the smartest thing to do. Because if it were to happen that we were to get into a state with our THC product and make, you know, buku bucks, right? And then the government comes in, shuts it down, fines us, does whatever, then we're holding on to all this product that we can't get rid of. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, that's why, you know, I'm not jumping on the iPhone when it first comes out. I'm gonna wait a few months and see what people have to complain about. Listen, as much as I would love to get some teleportation going, let's like get some scientists on that, right? I'm not going to be the first to go. I want everything to stay where it's supposed to fucking stay, inside and out. Okay. So, yeah. So anyways, but that was a super confusing story, but what it looks like is that they're mad because there's too much milligrams. So they do have a medical cannabis industry, just not an adult use industry. So that's why I was like, what are they talking about right now? So, and just a reminder, January of 2022, Louisiana Senate candidate Gary Chambers smoked a blunt in a campaign video speaking about how the failed war on drugs and how it affected people of color. Every 37 seconds, someone is arrested for marijuana. Since 2010, State and local police have arrested an estimated 7.3 million Americans. What? For violating marijuana laws, over half of all drug arrests. Black people are 4 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana laws than white people. States waste 3.7 billion enforcing marijuana laws every year, and most of the people police are arresting aren't dealers, but rather just people with small amounts of pot, just like me.
And
Gary
you.
Chambers, holler at Gary Chambers. I adore that man. I don't even know him. I love the I love
Where is this one? I can't see it to add it to the.
it is on the show notes. Oh,
Yes,
it's the first state by state story.
the High Times, Louisiana.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Oh,
bottom
okay.
Gary Chambers.
Oh, okay. I got that one.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, there's just a little blurb about Gary Chambers on the bottom of that because he was a candidate in Louisiana.
I see. I see.
So let's move on from Louisiana. Know your rights, people. Illinois dispensary workers are on strike right now when it hurts the most. On the eve of 420, Teamsters Local 777 members went on strike against 3 dispensaries in Illinois. Dispensary
Ooh.
workers in Illinois are fed up with what they say are low wages and unfair practices committed by major dispensary chains. Members of the Teamsters Local 777 members at 3 Rise dispensaries in Chicagoland, a subsidiary of Green Thumb Industries, we've talked about them several times, walked off on the job on April 19th at 4:20 p.m. Central Time to launch an open-ended unfair labor practice strike. It's the largest strike of its kind in the state to date. At all. Like, this is within the cannabis industry. On top of that, I love it. According to April 19th press release, Rise workers are very grateful for support and kind words they have received from their fellow Teamsters throughout the country, as well as the Illinois cannabis community. That's from Matt McQuaid. That's such a great name, a Teamster representative. We are still on the picket line. Local 777 members say that Rise dispensaries demanded that workers at the Niles location remove pro-union buttons while they were on the job, which is a violation of the National Labor Relations Act. The Chicago Tribune reports that the Teamsters planned to strike just before the biggest day of sales in dispensaries. It's beautiful. Well thought out. They say we're stupid, but look at us. The strike arrives as workers in multiple states push for higher minimum wage to meet the cost of living. You guys, it's not $15 anymore. We've talked about this. It's $25, $27. And you know why? It's because they're allowing price gouging in your properties, in your rental properties, in the housing market. It is so expensive to own a house or to rent an apartment. Even like a little 1-bedroom flat is so expensive, over $1,000 a month in most places. And that people are not getting paid enough to go to work and work an 8-hour day, a 40-hour week, right? And then come home and be able to pay their bills. It's going to affect communities. It's going to affect families. It's obviously affecting mental health already. It's affecting the job market severely. Today I watched a TikTok that a girl got denied a job. They said help wanted, right? They're short staffed. They don't have nobody working there. You know why they denied her the position?
Why?
She had pink hair.
Wow.
That's it. Your hair's not even going to conduct the interview.
And also, like, I guess I don't want to work at a place that doesn't allow me to have pink hair in this day.
Who's worried about pink hair? My hair's not the one doing the job. What are you talking about right now?
That's like a control thing. I don't know. There's still that,
It's a great party.
aspect of, don't have tattoos, have that clean cut look. I
Right.
still have friends that, are completely, but they can put on their 3/4 shirt and button up and not be seen,
I can mostly, except for the fake
mostly.
tattoo that I got and the one right here.
um,
I can almost do, but
and
I used to
so,
be like that. I used to like hide. Everything was hidden. I could put on a suit and you would never know I had a tattoo.
yeah, and as we've accepted that we want to, be comfortable in our skin, doing what we do, how we do it, yeah, it's been it's a choice. I won't work for a company that doesn't align with what I need for me.
Yeah.
I will find the company that aligns
And
with
that's the
me.
way it is too. It's the way, the young millennials and Gen Zs have taught us that we do not have to show up for that shit. That your PTO, it's not a request. It's not a request. I'm taking this time off. I have PTO. I'm taking this time off. Thank you very much. I've given you plenty of notice to find somebody to fill that slot. If you give plenty of notice to the date and they say no, just be like, it's not a request. I'm going on this. If you try to fire me, I'll go to HR. You've got plenty of time to put somebody else on the schedule for that time. Right? It's just stating your request and standing behind that shit. It's that's the way of the world right now. And then these employers want to be, nobody wants to work. Well, bitch, nobody wants to pay. Nobody wants to follow the rules. Like, and also, what do you expect from your employees? What do you expect from your employees? If they're worried about how they're going to pay their car note or put food on the table for their kids or keep a roof over their head, and they know that they have to leave this job to go to another job. So let's see here.
Yeah, HR. I don't even know, and then that's also there is no HR anymore. There people are not. I mean, maybe in corporations, and they have, of course, all their followings and what rules to follow. But as we talk about, small businesses or whatnot, or even chain restaurants that are supposed to have some kind of, I read awful, just those little blurbs of things that people have walked out of their jobs for because no, you're not, I can't, you don't get to yell at me in front of, in public like this, and think that that's going to make me want to work here for
Right.
you. They're not going to HR and being like, how do I approach this person that does this? That I don't like. No, they're throwing tantrums as upper level, and to someone that makes zero enough to live. And so they're cronies. They do the corporate dirty work. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's true. They are the ones that have to have the right words and say we're doing the right things to avoid. Yeah, most people are like this. The one I read today, I was 16 working at McDonald's. We got shift meal for free. It could be this or this, but I didn't. I put cheese on mine, and the franchise manager was there and tried to make me pay for cheese.
What
And
the fuck?
the cheese, and I laughed about it, and they basically yelled at her and them in public, and she was like, I don't even want your cheese or your sandwich, and I'm out. And then they tried to call her and be like, oh, come on back, we're not gonna worry about that cheese.
Exactly.
And she was like,
yeah, but
sorry
I
about
hear
that.
I hear what you're saying, Ian, that HR is there for the company, but also there are rules that the company has to follow. So they're there to make sure that the company follows the rules so that the company doesn't get sued. And that's how they look out for the company, which is why you should definitely report any violations to your HR. But unions are going to be the best way to like really defend yourself in those situations, honestly, because that's the union is there for your best interest. However, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, nice to meet you, Ian.
Welcome to the party.
But I'm glad you brought that up, because we had a story a couple weeks back that we didn't really get into, and I don't have it saved on these show notes, but it was about unions that were exploiting employees. So that, like, honestly, if there's a labor union that you want to join, make sure that you do your research on them and make sure that they're doing, because some of them are exploiting the employees. They're taking the employees' dues, they're taking their money, but they're not supporting, they're not doing the things that they should be doing to help the employee in that employment situation. So keep that in mind when you're looking at unionizing. Make sure it's a legitimate union that you're using. So like, this one's like the local sevens, and we've heard of that before. We've heard of them before. We know that they're a chapter or whatever. So yeah, just do your research on the union in your area that is supporting your industry also. That's including cannabis. I love that they're including cannabis in the industries that are being supported through these unions. So I heard a few years ago that this was going to start happening, and then it did start happening. We talked about this briefly. I'm not going to really get into this story, but Delaware did legalize adult use cannabis. It is now legal. Governor John Carney of Delaware announced last week that he would allow the two bills to legalize. So it just means he didn't veto them this time.
Sign it, right?
He has, yeah, it was voted on and got a majority vote, and then he has a certain amount of time to veto it, and then, I mean, he might have to sign it, but I don't think so. I think he has he didn't sign anything. He has a certain amount of time to veto it, and then if he doesn't do that within that amount of time, then it just rolls into legal. So that's what happened with the Delaware law. He's a Democrat, but he's been vetoing these proposals as they've come through. I wonder if we had, like, if we were able to have a conversation with him. The one thing I would like to know is, why did you veto those other bills and let this one slide through? Is it because those other bills weren't to your liking and this one was something that you could accept? And it wasn't that you didn't want legal cannabis, you just want to make sure it was right. I mean, because that would yeah.
Who does it serve? Who's it serving?
Why did you continue to veto it all this time, and now you're saying okay? So I'm just curious about that. But yeah, so Delaware legalized. So congratulations, Delaware. It was a smart move because everybody around you is legal. So it doesn't make any sense to not be legal in those areas. Some of y'all still need to get on board up there in the like New England area up there. Minnesota House approves marijuana legalization bill while the Senate version is set for final committee. So Minnesota is looking to legalize. They've passed a bill in the House of Representatives to legalize marijuana on Tuesday after weeks of extensive committee consideration and floor debate that spanned 2 days. Weeks of consideration and a 2-day floor debate. That's all you get is 2 days. Let's see. The Senate companion legislation will be taken up in its final committee on Wednesday before potentially advancing to the floor, which is expected by the end of the week. So the House legislation is from Representative Zach Stevenson. It was approved by a full chamber with amendments. It was a 71-59 vote. It was moved through 15 committees before reaching the floor. Members, our cannabis laws are broken. Prohibition failed. That's what he said. It's not achieving any of its goals, and its costs in terms of dollars and inhumane costs are overwhelming. Holla, re-elect this man. So yeah, it goes on to talk, some more quotes, etc. So it looks like Minnesota is going to have some legalization. We'll keep an eye on that. Um, uh, we'll kind of look into it a little bit more and talk about it a little bit more comprehensively, I guess, in the future. Oh yeah, we love that tapestry too.
I know. Thank you.
So good.
Uh-huh.
So you had said, I hope Texas does something, and then their House is set to vote on decriminalization as the committee takes up broader legalization proposals. The House of Representatives will vote on a bill to decriminalize marijuana on Wednesday, on the same day that a committee is scheduled to take up broader cannabis legalization. So they're going to decriminalize it, and then they're going to talk about regulating it, most likely. HB 218, the bill heading to the floor, combines two separate measures from last session, both of which passed the House. So it just has to pass in the Senate. Once one votes on it, they have to send it to the other, checks and balances, all that stuff. So that's what's happening in Texas. New York lawmakers announced joint committee hearing on marijuana banking. So New York is like, this is a real business. We need banking. So they're going to just do it in the state. They're going to just work on doing it in the state.
I mean, I feel like there's someone that's tried to do it in Colorado a couple of times, and how that just doesn't. I still don't. We're all still kind of.
I remember in the early days, there was a documentary, and it was Euflora who bought a bank. They bought a bank, and then they were doing their own shit. They were like, well, if we can't put our money in a bank, then we bought a bank to put our money in.
It's like the armored car, the company that started, they started an armored car company because they had to transport their own cash, or transport cash. So they're like, well, we're going to go ahead and start.
I know the answer to this question, but like, why can't we have our own banks, right? But the answer to that question is because banks are FDIC insured, so they're insured by the federal government. Having said that, though, there are many banks closing down right now. There are many people having a hard time getting access to their money. It could be a crisis.
Right, and then they want us to go digital. Like, come on, are you serious? So then you can shut us out of our computer
right under our nose. Yes, or halt our bank accounts. You remember the whole Visa fiasco? Could you imagine? So yeah, no, they want us to go digital. Banks are closing their doors and not returning money, and also digital currency. Like, so you're just throwing a number out there and telling me that number exists. And I guess the thing I love about money is that it's tangible. Like, I can hold it in my hand and know that I have it.
Right.
I don't know, but it doesn't matter if it's not worth anything, right? Invest your money in gold and silver, you guys. Seriously, like raw. Like,
also trade. Also start the barter system again, and someone can do something that you need, and you can probably do something that you can offer them something that they need. So
yeah, we're gonna have to go back to that. We can't let the government be in all this digital control. Real. Hoard some gold for real. Nevada Assembly passes a resolution urging Congress to federally legalize marijuana. So this one seemed pretty interesting to me. They passed a resolution, but what does that even mean? It cleared the chamber a 37-5 vote on Monday. It states that cannabis has many well-documented medical uses, yet remains Schedule 1 under Federal Controlled Substances Act, alongside heroin. Makes 0 sense, you guys. The resolution goes on to note that Nevada voters have approved ballot initiatives to legalize medical and recreational marijuana, and a state district court ruled last year that the State Board of Pharmacy designation of cannabis as a Schedule 1 substance is unconstitutional. what state was that? I'm just going to click on it, and it was in Nevada. So of course it was. It was their own state. Because the federal classification of marijuana, patients are unable to receive medical insurance prescriptions under their health coverage for cannabis, and they're also not covered under health savings accounts. You guys remember that story we did last week, where we talked about workers' comp being awarded to the guy because his doctor recommended cannabis for his injuries, and then they were like, well, we're not going to pay for your cannabis, and he was like, you have to, the doctor said. And they did have to.
And they did.
That's true. Silver's a solid investment because it's used in industry for electronics, so it's valuable and will increase. That's very true. People are going to need it. So that's interesting. And we are going to post these in the show notes for when I post for Spotify. So definitely check them out, and we'll post on our page, on our Facebook page as well. New York lawmakers announced joint committee hearing on a marijuana ban. We just said that one. Minnesota marijuana legalization bill clears the final Senate committee. That was part of that other story that we were just talking about. House lawmakers reintroduced bipartisan cannabis expungement bill. This is a high time story. A bipartisan duo of lawmakers has reintroduced the bill to provide funding to state and local governments to expunge past cannabis convictions. Two House lawmakers this week reintroduced bipartisan legislation to support those states to enact those policies to expunge past cannabis offenses. The bill, the Harnessing Opportunities by Pursuing Expungement HOPE Act, was introduced on Wednesday by Republican Representative Dave Joyce of Ohio and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a Democrat from New York. Do I love her? Yes, I do. You know why I love her so much? Not only does she speak super intelligently and has sources for everything that she says, which I absolutely love, but she gets under their skin so bad.
So bad. Like,
oh my God, she rubs them so the wrong way. And I am here for it. I am here for it. So the vast majority of petty nonviolent cannabis law violations take place on the state and local level, precluding millions of Americans from fundamental opportunities such as housing and employment. This is true. So if this is on your record, you can't get those things. As a both former public defender and a prosecutor, I understand firsthand how these barriers can negatively impact families and economic growth in Ohio and across the nation. So hopefully that passes. Again, we'll post this story on our pages and on the show notes. Okay. So, there's a couple serious ones in here, but the reason I went to High Times is because I was like, I think I saw your post or somebody else's post about Marianne Williamson, and I want to know more about her. Because I got so much, not as much as I usually get, but I got so much shit the other day because I was watching this video. You were watching it with me, and they were talking about Biden and blah, 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 and how great he has been for America. And I am scoffing the whole time. I'm like, whatever. Like, what are you talking about? And so I put in the comment section of that video, so y'all just want your grandparents to continue running the country because that's been going so well. That's been going so far. Listen, my mother is going to be 77 years old this year. I do not want her driving a car, much less running the country. No, absolutely not. Are you kidding?
I know. I'm gonna fuck around and find out group.
Yeah.
And there was a post today all about this. Like, I guess there's like, whatever. It's whatever kicked it off it was a mug. And someone mentioned Marianne Williamson, and of course people have
her name is very familiar to me.
I don't know anything other than just seeing again this on a Facebook post. But yeah, someone was like, she's this, and I was like, and the person that had brought her up was like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to rethink. And I think it was in regard to vaccines or whatever. And so
That's why I know her name, because she ran last election too. Okay,
yeah.
if our grandparents are operating in Bernie Sanders mode, or as you've said, this Marianne Williamson, then maybe. But like, Biden's not running at that capacity. He's running, first of all, status quo as a puppet, and like the gaffes and the missteps and the missed opportunities to do the things that he said he was going to do. Of course, as a cannabis community, we should all be upset with him right now because that was one of his campaign promises. But absolutely not. I felt like when we voted last election, I was like, placeholder. I mean, because I honestly didn't. We know he's corporate. Like literally, if you have student loan debt, you can thank Biden for that, because you can't write that shit off. You can't get rid of it. And he voted for that. He wanted, and he's a fucking Democrat. What are you talking about? Anyways, I will not. And you guys can give me shit for that if you want to. And you guys can blame me for 2016 if you want to. I did not vote for Hillary Clinton. I give no fucks what you guys think about that. I wrote in Bernie Sanders because in Colorado, it's a write-in state. Also, Colorado doesn't usually carry the election. So I wasn't like, I mean, I guess I had the privilege to do that, but I will not be voting blue no matter who, because this is bullshit. And the thing is that they've convinced us that these are our only fucking options, and they're clearly not our only fucking options.
Yeah, it's a corporate option. It's yeah.
I mean, it really is. And you know what? Get what the fuck you get for putting up a shit candidate to split the vote, because the people who are not going to vote for Joe Biden are not voting for Trump or Ron DeSantis or whoever the fuck devil horns they fucking put into that slot, right? They're voting for the Jill Steins and the Marianne Williamsons and like they're voting for those, or they're writing in whatever. I couldn't vote for Hillary Clinton. I could not with like a conscience do that. And you can cry at me and you can blame me for Donald Trump. I didn't birth him. Okay. I didn't create him. I didn't fucking tell your bigoted ass relatives to go out and vote for him. It's not my doing. And my government didn't give me a candidate that I felt like I could trust. So I told them the candidate that I felt like I could trust. And I will do it again, because it's my right to do it. It's my absolute right to do it. It's your right to do it too. And honestly, if we would stop fighting about these bullshit corporate candidates, they're doing nothing but holding us back. They're doing nothing but holding us back. And then they do these like little tiny minor good things to make us believe that they're great and they're doing good things for America, while behind our backs, they're passing laws that are detrimental to our well-being. They fly on the wings of the same fucking bird.
Same bird.
And I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. I'm just not doing it. So you vote your conscience. That's what I say. Vote your conscience. Like, think about it though.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton, for real, she's the first and only woman you could think of out of all the women that are speaking on the progressive side and the Democratic Party side. Hillary Clinton's the best you could come up with. Tell me you're the Illuminati without telling me you're the fucking Illuminati. Are you kidding me? With this generational fucking, the Bushes, the Clintons, get out of here with that shit.
Yeah.
Exactly. DNC, listen, this is not a political show, but the DNC fucked Bernie Sanders. They fucked him. And so did you, liberals and progressives who didn't go out and vote in the primary. So did you. Vote in the primary. The primary is so important. Go vote, bitches. Anyways, okay, let's move from that, because woo! Did you guys know that there's a study? This is where I want my money spent. This is the story right here. Worms can also get the munchies from cannabis, a study shows.
I love it.
It's a well-known fact that using cannabis often leads to the munchies, prompting consumers to eat more and crave tasty, high-calorie foods. Listen, go get you a veggie platter. because you know you're gonna get the munchies.
Drink water.
Drink a lot of water. It's my gift to you.
I do
Cannabinoid
like some
also, but
carbs.
also get you some like little Debbie cakes too, because
I was like carb, a little carb action.
okay. Cannabinoids make nematodes hungrier for their favored foods and less hungry for their non-favored foods. Thus, the effects of cannabinoids in nematodes parallels the effects of marijuana on human appetites. This is from Sean Lockery is his name. He's the co-author of the study. He added that nematodes diverged from the lineage leading to mammals more than 500 million years ago, calling it truly remarkable that cannabinoids' effects on the appetite have been preserved through this amount of evolutionary time. The study was originally inspired by Oregon's legislation of cannabis in 2015. Lockery said that their lab was examining nematode food preferences relating to research on a neuronal basis of economic decision making when they decided to investigate whether cannabinoids would alter their preferences. Nematodes also look a lot more like people in a molecular level than other species, researchers noted, begging the question if the feeding effects of cannabinoids would persist across species. Cannabinoids bind to cannabinoid receptor proteins in the brain, nervous system, and other parts of the body. The receptors respond to endocannabinoids, which are molecules already in the body. The endocannabinoid system is known to play a crucial role in a number of bodily functions like eating, learning, memory, reproduction, and more. Researchers demonstrate that is all absolute. Not that you need me to say it, but absolutely. Researchers demonstrated that worms exposed to anandamide, an endocannabinoid. So that's the cannabinoid that you one of the cannabinoids that you produce in your body naturally. So you produce those. When they were exposed to anandamide, an endocannabinoid, they ate more of their favorite foods with effects dependent on the presence of the worm's cannabinoid receptors. Further studies had researchers genetically replace the nematode cannabinoid receptor with human cannabinoid receptor, finding that the animals responded normally to cannabinoids. It goes on for a couple more paragraphs, but it's a very interesting story out of High Times. I thought it was very funny. And so I was like, let's talk about how these worms get the munchies. And it's very interesting, as you heard. So I don't know if it was a waste, but a little bit, but it sounds like a fun experiment if you have time to do it.
And so it's directly, and so that goes where people talk about what strain or cultivar is gonna help me eat, help me not eat, help me sleep, help me not sleep. I like that they directly used specific cannabinoids and
Okay, I'm going to sound like I don't believe in evolution when I ask this question, but I absolutely believe in evolution. But I always am curious as to why some of us evolved and some of us did not. Like, I don't understand science on that level. Like, why did some of the species continue to evolve towards like human, and then some of them just stayed worms? Like if we are evolution, or if we are evolved, and which there's science. So I'm not asking the question. I'm not asking that question. I believe in evolution. But also, if we're evolved from like the bonobo monkey, right? Why are there still bonobo monkeys?
right. Where did I diverge or
yeah, like why did some of the species evolve and some of the species not evolve? But also, then I look at America.
Is it atmosphere?
Maybe probably it's atmospheric and yeah, it's probably like the environmental is where I was looking for. But then I think look at America and look at all the unevolved fucking humans that we have to listen to and look at every day.
I don't know. I feel like evolution is a product of,
your environment.
environment.
Right.
What do you lose?
What do
What's
you
something
need and
about
what do you
teeth
don't need?
where, children are being born
Born without
without wisdom
wisdom
teeth.
teeth. Right. We
And
had to get
those
ours
are,
pulled.
used to be, yeah. We had to get ours pulled, and that was the thing, is like, now how many, people are pulling, and why, and what were they used for before, because, and whatever.
Right. 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 And that has yeah, it's absolutely environment. It's what we put into our bodies to nourish our bodies. So it could be a situation with the wisdom teeth, right? Is that there's certain things that we used our wisdom teeth for, and we got nutrients from, and we just don't need those nutrients, or we just don't need that food anymore, and that changes the DNA as we I don't under listen, this is the most dumbed down explanation on the whole world, because I yeah, but yeah, so
I wish I could turn my camera around, because Lady is now sitting with her back towards me, facing the door. Like, she's been whining the whole time. Very, very low key, but the whole time.
yeah,
And yeah,
she's not happy with us right
she's
now.
like,
Oh,
"Whoa."
bitch, we've got just a few more minutes. So let me see. Was there any other funny ones on here? Oh, there was this one, and then we'll go into the would you rather's. Okay. So there's a couple of high time stories that I definitely think you should go check out. Owners of Oxycontin maker paid 19 million to institution that advises opioid policy. So there's a huge conflict of interest there between the Sacklers and the people who are advising on the policy. So like they're in connection with and paid the people who are making policy decisions about their product. Huge conflict of interest. There's a study that was done that says no significant association between cannabis use and developing psychosis. So definitely check that one out. And then there's this one.
Yep.
Cows that are fed hemp cake retain safe levels of THC and CBD in their meat.
Don't eat beef anymore, people.
Uh, yeah.
Don't make
Listen, first of all,
cannabinoids any either.
look how cute this cow is that you're going to like grill on your grill this summer. Like, just that's so sad. I am not a vegetarian.
Not either. I have tried.
I want to be, but I'm just not there.
In
I am not
between, where
involved.
I've not always, like, I know my mom tried for a minute, like when we were younger, but it was that example of unhealthy
Yeah.
vegetarian kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I take meat breaks.
I do
No,
take, yeah, I agree with
I
that,
definitely
but
eat less meat like in the summertime, because I eat like a lighter diet too. I eat like a lot of like light foods because it's so hot out. But yeah, and I limit my red meats for sure, because I'm getting older and hormones and shit change your whole everything. Um, Cows that are fed hemp seed cake retain very low concentrations of THC and CBD in their bodies, indicating that meat products from hemp fed cattle are safe for human consumption. Let me tell you something. If they had high levels, you could sell it as an edible and I would eat it.
is it on the label? Do they mark this?
And do they have to mark it? That sounds like a
is there an actual
regulation.
company that does this?
That's in no, that wasn't in High Times. That's in Marijuana Moment.
I'm
That's
posted. So I've posted some, not everything we've covered, but I've tried to been grabbing, certain ones. So they are on the page for,
They're on the page.
clicking. Yes.
As you know, this show is brought to you by CQ LLC, a cannabis consulting company and education company, Colorado approved to teach responsible vendor training. Brought to you by Queen Kitty Seltzer. Pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. You'll like it. Promise. Tastes like water, because that's what water's supposed to taste like. No sugar, no additives, and low dose CBD. And of course, by ourselves, solo.to/Cannabis Closet 420 to find all of our social media. Like, share, tell your friends, leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you. So on April 30th, we're gonna be in St. Louis. We're actually gonna be in St. Louis on the 28th. We have an event on April 30th, and that's Miss Jackson, If You're Nasty, and also Ludacris. Stand up. I'm ready. I'm ready. He's going to say stand up and I'm going to stand up. That's what's going to happen. And then when I move, you move just like that. Okay. So just be ready. I'm going to dance. If you at the concert with me, we're going to dance and holla. That's what we do. May 1st, we're going to be live in St. Louis. I believe we're going to be at the Cola Lounge. So that's going to be dope. And we are going to have special guests, Randy with Main Ingredient, and also Christina Thompson is slated to join us to come talk to us about the new hemp bill that you guys need to consider. What would we say it was? HB 1328. HB 1328. So definitely check that show out. Tell all of your friends, like I said, like, share, set your alerts, all that stuff. On May 11th, we're going to be joining the Rosin Experience with the Sesh Connection. If you're not already following the Sesh Connection on Instagram, go give them a follow. They put on all kinds of really cool cannabis events in the state of Colorado, in Denver specifically. You can look up the Rosin Experience on .eventbrite.com. Check out at the Sesh Connection for links in the bio. On May 11th from 7 to 10 p.m., we are going to be at an undisclosed location at the moment. It will be in downtown Denver. We do know that. You must be 21 and up with a valid ID. There will be food trucks, vendors, cash and monetary apps are going to be accepted for the most part, and there will not be an ATM on the premises. General admission tickets for this event are $20. 2 floors of vendors, but no elevator, so be ready to walk. Bathrooms on both floors. And Queen Kitty will be there making kitty tails with high-grade syrups. We're going to use our Lemon Kiss. I think it's their blueberry that we're using to make one-to-one kitty tails. So come join us if you're in the Denver area, and come taste this tasty little treat that we're going to mix up. And on June 15th, we're having a Queen Kitty launch party. Pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. We got a new flavor coming out. We're not going to tell you what it is. Go check out our Instagram page and comment in any of our posts, honestly, what you think the next flavor is going to be. And it will enter you to possibly win a 4-pack, one of each of our flavors. There are only 6 states that we cannot ship to, but I don't believe anybody in this comment section right now is from any of those states. So I think we're good. Hawaii, South Dakota, Idaho, Iowa, New Hampshire. I said Hawaii. There's one more. What is this one? Minnesota, Mississippi, something like that. I don't know.
Mississippi, I think.
It's Mississippi. Yeah, excuse me. Make sure you guys hydrate. Okay, so definitely check us out. Okay, here we go. You guys ready? Would you rathers? I got 3 of them because you know that's my number. They're kind of hard, maybe a little bit. This first one's super hard because I have no, like, I don't know. I want to say one over the other, but then I don't know, both. Would you rather end credit card debt forever or end student loan debt forever? I don't know the answer to that question.
It's like, aren't they also the same?
What are the pros and cons of ending credit card debt versus student loan debt? Because student loan debt, to me, if we end student loan debt, it's going to help out a lot of people that have like these extreme debts. But also, once that debt is paid off, it doesn't get reacquired, right?
Right. Unless
you go back to school again or whatever. But then everybody could go to school for free, which I definitely am in support of. Private schools be privating, but whatever. Right. But credit card debt forever. Does that mean we don't have credit cards? Or does that mean, what does that mean?
Yeah, and I don't know. And both of those systems are dependent on the interest and the money that you don't have to pay for those things.
Now, this is a great explanation that Jen has, and it's like more of a moral standing on it. So student loan, because at least that person was on their way to something, whereas credit card debt, and I'm going to say generally, is a spiraling spastic monster. And I would say,
It is.
yeah, generally speaking, that is true. That
And
is true.
credit scores are a scam too.
Credit scores are bullshit and a scam. And y'all know that Visa just canceled 3 of my credit cards without telling me anything. They said I was supposed to get a letter in 7 to 10 days. I have not received that letter yet. I've no letter from Visa at all. And they just canceled my credit cards because they didn't like how I was using it or something, or they didn't like what I do in my business, or they probably found a connection between me, CQ LLC, Queen Kitty Seltzer, they, whatever their reasoning, but they won't tell me what it is. And they just like cut that shit off. It's a scam.
Oh.
I don't even think,
They don't like what you've been doing. Oh, I mean, I can't tell you.
yeah. Like, and then he was like, and then he was like, we can cancel your credit card for any reason at any time, per the
you
agreement.
signed it in the per the agreement.
What the fuck did you just say to me? Like, okay, bro, sure, I guess.
Thanks.
And then I was like, you know what? Do I need it? Fuck you guys. And they're still letting me pay it monthly, so I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah.
They didn't like put me in this crazy weird debt place, which was what the panic was about. I had like initial panic that I was gonna have to come up with like these huge lump sums of money. And generally speaking, we just use those cards for travel and things that we get while we're traveling, food and gas. Anyway, so definitely I think student loan debt. Yeah, though I like the explanation of why we should consider student loan debt over credit card debt.
I agree. And also being able to get a higher education without knowing you're going to have to work your ass off to pay off your student loan. That's at
Right.
in crazy high rate, and depending on what you get approved for and your credit score and your financial stability. And
Right,
yeah,
all of it.
people are still, I will be paying off my student loan probably. I might die before my student loans are supposed to be paid off at this rate.
Can I tell you something? I might die before I pay another penny towards my student loan. I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, my federals are on hold,
I'm just
but
holding
I'm a
out for
private.
somebody to be like,
Yeah.
we're canceling student loan debt, because they've been saying it for years, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'll just wait for one of y'all to do it. I stopped paying my student loans during the pandemic because of all the holds and stuff. Whatever. I'm not paying any more of it. I'm done with it. I'm done paying them because the interest rates are so stupid, exorbitant. And also, vote blue no matter who. Biden's the reason you can't write them bitches off. You can't, if you file bankruptcy, you know what you can't put on your bankruptcy? Your student loan debt.
Mm-mm.
And it's because of Biden, because he is a corporate candidate. Yeah. But anyways.
And again, the insurance, the interest rates that are on my student loans, and based on credit, based on XYZ at the moment, whatever, it's, again,
yeah,
I will be paying forever. And so
I will not.
I mean, I have my federals are on hold, but I have a private one too.
Technically, I'm supposed to, but I will not.
I think the federal ones are still on hold.
I'm done participating in that scam. I'm done participating in that scam. It's a scam. It's a scam to keep poor people poor. I'm done with it. Okay, so the next one. This is making a huge assumption. Would you rather never have to worry about money again, or never be lonely again? This is making a couple of huge assumptions. Number one, that people with money are lonely. And number two, that I want to be around people.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna go with never have to worry about money again. I don't, I can sit with myself.
I feel like
no problem.
That's a hard one for me, because I'm in this weird, I was talking to you about this the other day. I'm in this weird space of I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to be alone. But also leave me the fuck alone. Like leave me alone.
Yeah, it is. It's a hard, yeah, I guess, yeah, I get that because again, we were talking about it.
Um, I know
Um,
never has a really strong connotation, but I always think about, if you have a lot of money, can you trust the new people in your life, or even the old people in your life? Can you trust them? I always wonder that.
yeah, are you going to be
Are you
lonely regardless?
are you going to be lonely? Yeah. Are you
Mhm.
going to be lonely and poor, or lonely and rich? Are you going to be a pavo, or are you going to be rich? I'm also so ready for summer. We are so ready for it. I have a little bit of a tan line, but then it snowed. Okay. So I think I didn't answer that question, but I think I would I've spent my life worrying about money and also experiencing loneliness. And I'm not a money girl. I'm not. I'm not. Men and people try to impress me by telling me how much money they have or what great things that they bought with their money. And while there's a slight tinge of envy from time to time, it doesn't stick. I'm not impressed. Like, are you a good person? Do you do good things for people in your community? Are you fun to hang out with? Can we go to a concert together? What is it a benefit to me that you have money? I give no fucks if you have money. You know what I'm saying? And also, I've been in situations where I've had a lot of money, like throughout my life as a child and as an adult, where we've had a lot of money and then we have no money at all. Like we were struggling. And same as an adult, where I've had like buku bucks, know what it's like to feel good and be comfortable. I've never been rich, but I know what it's like to feel comfortable, right? And then I've had times in my life as an adult where I'm just like, I don't know how I'm gonna put gas in my car this week. And so to me, money is just not it's just not impressive to me. Not to mention they're trying to make it all digital and take it all away from us now too. It's like a lost commodity. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right. Yeah, I just don't want to have to worry about it, whether it's
right.
your
I mean,
money
I
or
don't
my
want to have to
money.
worry
I'm
about
like,
it.
I don't,
Right. I
but
don't want
right
to have to
now, I'm
worry
like,
about it.
ever
But
again? Yeah.
but
Because,
knowing the struggle of worrying about it and knowing that I'm strong enough to get through that struggle and find my own way to a place where I don't have to worry about money, and in that same time not have to give up like social and like not being able to make money and not have to give up my loneliness. I would say I don't want to be alone in this world. I want a death partner, and I have one. So I think I might have a couple, but uh for all y'all naysayers that wonder what I was going to do because I didn't have no kids. Well, I got friends, bitch. And they got kids. Woo, woo!
right, that. I was like, well, yeah.
And I'm the
Um,
cool aunt. So okay, last one, and then we gotta wrap it up. Come hang out with us on Discord after the show for a few minutes. Lady needs to go for walkies, but we'll be there for a few minutes. Okay, last one. Would you rather have no Wi-Fi or no music? I automatically know the answer to this question for me. No Wi-Fi or no music. So I like how you're thinking about it. I don't have to think about it at all.
well, no, and I know why you, but also it's like if you don't have Wi-Fi, then I mean, not that
How
it's
do
just
I
based
play
on
the
the
music?
Wi-Fi, I guess. Yeah, how do you play the music? But well, no,
There's
I
music
guess it doesn't,
without
it doesn't,
Wi-Fi
it
for
doesn't
sure.
matter. Yeah, exactly, it doesn't matter. Um,
Buy that shit on a DVD.
I would go with no Wi-Fi. I've definitely gone without it, and great, no connection. You can't
Yeah.
get to me. I can't get to anything else, and I will find other things
Right.
that don't require
It's
Wi-Fi.
kind of like living in the 80s. It's kind of refreshing. This hat is just doing some weird shit on my head right now. Yeah, no, I need music for sure. We can blame it on my whatever sun sign or my personality or whatever, but no, music is like an emotional outlet for me. If you've ever ridden in my car, you know that. Um, yeah, I would definitely music is what I need, so I would give up Wi-Fi. 1000%. Plus, I mean, we grew up in a time without Wi-Fi. I know that we're kind of, well, not kind of, but we are addicted to the convenience of it now. But I feel like most of us could figure out how to live without it if we were born without it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
grew up and it's always been in your life, it might be a little bit more difficult to let it go. But I think if you were born, if there was ever a time in your life where you didn't have it, it will be easier to get over your addiction. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong, but
No, I think that's valid. I not that it's not that other generations aren't capable, but if you have always had it, I mean, they don't know the dial up despair of whether you're going to connect or not. And
the other day I was doing charades with my little grandnephew. Like he's my nephew's kid. Um, he has this little charades game, and he's like young. He's like, I think 6 or 8, something like that. I think he's 6. So he has this little charades game, and I went to Ohio first time I've ever actually met him in person because it's been so long since I've been there. Anyways, so he's doing the charade game, and he does this, and I'm like, what is he doing? He's talking on the phone. Because this is how they hold their phone, because it's cell phone. So they do this.
That's true. I'm like, but that's such a random motion. Like, it
Yeah,
doesn't
but
make
it's
sense
how
to
they know to
like,
answer,
I
because
know.
he sees answer the phone, and he just boom does that, and I see answer the phone, and I go boom. He would not know what the fuck this means.
No, but also people don't know what a floppy disk is, but they know that it means save.
Isn't that weird?
Crazy, right? They
Crazy.
just know that that's the button you push to save. Just like now we know the arrow up out of the box means we're going to send that bitch somewhere.
I think I've seen a video where like a kid was holding a floppy disk, and they were like, "Why do you have the save icon in your drawer?" Bitch, get out. Because I'm old. That's why. Remember microfiche. Anyways, okay.
Ooh, ooh.
Throwback.
I bet people don't even know what that means. They do not know what the word microfiche means.
Microfiche. I just
Fiche.
want to I from all accounts, I think he's doing well, but I just want to remind you guys. I just want to remind you guys. And oh, don't forget we have that pop-up market. I forgot we had this poster. We have a pop-up market June 15th from 4 to 7. Tickets will be available on Eventbrite, location to be announced. And it's a flavor launch. You guys should come. It's going to be a vendor's party. Bring money.
Yeah, spend. Be ready to spend. We're going to have vendors and food, and Queen Kitty will have our flavors for you.
So exciting.
So exciting. We're going to have music, live music.
Elijah Tribe.
With Elijah Tribe.
I'm excited to have him. That's a beautiful specimen of a man also. He's like 1,000,000 feet tall.
I mean, that's the food company.
We also have Good Eats. Yep, Good Eats is going to be there, and there's going to be, I think, another food vendor there too. We haven't confirmed that yet. Anyways, we hope you guys have enjoyed the show, and we hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Make sure that you be nice to yourself. Be nice to yourself. Make sure you put your mask on before assisting others.
Cultivate love. Bring it to you. You deserve it.
And as always, stay lifted. We will see you guys next on May 1st. So join us on May 1st. We're going to be live in St. Louis. Live in St. Louis? What? It's going to be amazing. Don't miss it. Stay lifted, stay gifted, you guys. We'll see you on Monday. Come hang out with us in Discord if you want. That's where we're going to be next.
Thanks, everyone.
Love you guys. Boop, boop, boop.